Every Tuesday morning, I awake and pull out my phone, and I open up my favorite app, and it says to me, "Your baby is as big as a blueberry." Or, "Your baby is as big as a strawberry." Or as it said this week, "Your baby is as big as a cucumber." As many of you know, Laura Ann and I are expecting our third child, a baby girl this time. And even though this is our third child, I'm no less amazed by the miracle that is pregnancy. In the old days, a child grew within the womb unseen in darkness and mystery. Today we can open up an app and watch in some way the baby, or go to the doctor and see her move in an ultrasound. And yet, even with all of that technology, it is no less miraculous. It is no less mysterious. How is it that a child comes into being? How is it that a baby grows little by little in a womb? I can never seem to wrap my mind around how that happens. And yet, however miraculous it is, I'm also reminded of how utterly natural it is. This is the way of things. Enormous oak trees come from little seeds. A 12-foot gator, it comes from a little egg. Even the mountains are pushed forth from creeping tectonic shifts. We are creatures of this earth with bodies and flesh that grow from the primal elements. Sometimes in the seasons of Advent and Christmas, we over-spiritualize the message of the incarnation. We think of Christ's coming as an unseen moment of the heart, a coming that was perhaps once historical, but for us is spiritual, supernatural, beyond the physicality of this life. But the message of the gospel is physical. It is natural. It is earthy. In the grand story of today's lessons and carols, we began with Adam and Eve. In Hebrew, the names mean earth and living. And we heard the story of how sin entered their bodies through saying no to God and the eating of forbidden fruit. And we end our lessons with the story of Mary, and how salvation entered her body through saying yes to God and carrying within her womb the blessed fruit. Eating, conceiving, birthing. This is an earthy story. And that is what is so shocking about it. That the God of heaven drew near to the dust of earth. That through the Holy Spirit, God became a holy body. Can you imagine? What must it have been like to be God and the size of a blueberry, slowly shaped in a sack of amniotic fluid in the darkness of a womb? And in becoming a body, God began the work of making every body holy, so that Christ comes to us not only in our spirits and in our hearts, but in the earthiness of our bodies, which really is exactly the place where we long for the coming of Christ. In our aching backs and our broken knees, and our wrinkled faces, and dirty calloused hands, and stomach pains, and strained lungs, and clogged arteries, These are the places that long for Jesus, that long for healing, that long for hope and restoration. These are the signs of Advent, the groaning expectation of the earthy, fleshy creation that St. Paul writes about in Romans 8. These are the voices of John the Baptist crying out in the wilderness, "Prepare the way of the Lord." Christ comes not just to spirits, but to these creatures of the earth. Poet Scott Carnes put it this way in his poem about the Annunciation: "Deep within the clay, and oh, my people, very deep within the holy earthen compound of our kind, we all become the kindled kindred of a king." In this Advent season, pay attention. Pay attention not only to what's in the heart, but what's in our very earthy bodies and what's in the world around us. Listen to the aches of the earth. Christ is coming, making all flesh holy, not only in the womb of Mary, but in every earthy atom of our being. In holy darkness, God is becoming flesh.